What's good, guys? This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer. I got a special treat for you guys. You guys ready? Follow me. Let's go. Look what I found for you guys today. Check this out right here. Look what this says. Nikon F3. Check this out. Isn't that gorgeous? The Nikon F3 SLR from the 80s. Check this out here. The original owner's manual. Nikon F3 high point instruction manual. Nikon. Something special. Rock and roll. Wanna go back in time with me? All right, Marty, let's go back in time. 1980s. You got the box right here. You want retro? I'll give you retro. Forget the Z30, Z-FC, Nikon this, Fuji that. You want Nikon retro? I think I got some retro stuff in this box right here for you guys. Pull this out of storage at home, found this box, and with all this retro talk going on, I think you guys will enjoy this video right here. I haven't pulled this box out in so long, and I'm just excited to see what's in this box and to share it with all you guys. Like I said, you want retro? I'll give you real retro right here. All right, what do we have here? Oh, the Nikon, my Nikon F3. Quick little story about this exact camera, guys. This is the exact camera. I was probably about 15 years old, taking this thing to my photography class in high school. I was a freshman in high school, and this is the exact camera that I learned photography in school, in high school. I took this thing, everybody would, they brought their cameras. I remember I was the only one with a professional camera. This is a real SLR 35mm camera, the F3. Look, it even has the Nikon 50mm 1.4 lens on it. It's a Nikon 50mm 1.4. It's probably an AIS lens. Which, wow, look at this thing. All manual focus, all goodness, all retro. The dials, look at the dials. Here's my F3, guys. That's my Nikon F3. This is real retro right here, guys. 35mm. The dials actually are dials and all manual focus. Look, you even put a little sleeve, depending on what film you're using. And back in the day, guys, when shooting film, you guys know that there was no ISO. The ISO was the film, the speed of the film. So you choose the film, and just for a quick reference, you would put the film tag right on this sleeve right here. Just a little reminder of what film you're using back in the day. There you go. Just popped it open. This is where your 35mm film would go. Right here. You'd wind it up, close this tray here. Boom. Wind it up, and you're ready to rock and roll. 35mm film, the Nikon F3, guys. Before I go into the detailed specs of the Nikon F3, launch, release date, different variants of this camera, and show you in detail what the F3 is all about, let's go ahead and see what else we got in that box. Because I'm excited to see. I totally forgot that I actually own this gem of a 50mm lens here, the 1.4. Is this an AI or an AIS? It's probably an AI. Awesome. See what else we got in this little box. Oh, check this out, guys. I think all you guys would love this thing. The Nikon F3 instruction manual, printed in Japan. See, these type of instruction manuals you want to keep. I mean, this is great. This is like going back in time, guys. I wonder if these phone numbers still work. telex, fax number. You got a Nikon fax number in Japan here. Cool instruction manual, guys. You're talking. This is retro right here, guys. This is you want to keep this stuff. I'm like a kid in a candy store here, guys. So just for comparison, here's an ultra modern DSLR, and here's a Nikon F3. If you want to compare side by side here. Wow, it looks awesome, man. You guys gotta check this out. For those of you new generation photographers, if you've never used film camera before, it's such a joy. I suggest if you're learning photography, buy a 35mm film camera. You'll appreciate photography. You'll learn photography. And look at that. Let's hear the shutter sound of this camera. You wind it up. Okay, of all you new photographers out there, this is how we would shoot in the past. You'd wind it up. Listen to that. This is this winding sound. Listen to that. Wow. Awesome. Let's see what else we got in this box, shall we? Here, let me move this D850 out of the way. Okay, Mr. D850, this is not your review. We're going back in time, all right, mister? Let's put you back in the camera bag for now. We're going back in time. We're going to the 80s, Marty. Are we ready to go to the 80s? We got the time machine right here, Back to the Future. Oh, Doc, let's go back in time. Let's check out the Nikon F3, shall we? Going back in time. Like Huey Lewis in the news. Gonna go back in time. Let's do it. You ready to check out the Nikon F3? We're going back to the future. Actually, we're going back in time. We got the time machine right here. You ready for some detailed specs and history of this beautiful gem of a 35mm camera? Jump in the DeLorean. We're going back in time to 1980. Let's go. Rock and roll. The first Nikon F3 was introduced in 1980. The HP in front of the camera stands for high point. Basically, the initial F3 model with the DE2 eye-level finder was introduced, soon followed by the popular F3 HP with the DE3 high eye point prism finder. And now get this is where it gets interesting. The F3 HP is built like a tank. There's nothing like it. However, there was a F3T, basically standing for titanium version, was released. Next, in 1983, the F3P was introduced. P standing for press, a camera built for photojournalists. Remember photojournalists back in the day? We had a bunch, didn't we? Now they even had an F3 limited edition, sold in 1994, only sold in Japan. And in 1998, Nikon came out with the F3H, which was a sports photography camera introduced in the Olympic Games of '98. And let's not forget the F3AF, a model which included an autofocus pentaprism finder DX1, compatible of autofocusing with two special AF Nikon lenses, the first of their kind, which included focus motors in the lens bodies. The F3, like I said, launched in 1980 with a price tag of $1175 with a 50mm 1.4 lens. That's big money for 1980. This was a serious tool, a professional photographer's tool. Not everybody could own one of these. It was very expensive for the time. All in all, the Nikon F3 had a good run. Lasted 2 decades with many variants of this camera released until the launch of the Nikon F4. Let's see what else we got in this box, shall we? Film. For those of you guys just learning photography and you think the Z30 is retro, or the DF, the Nikon DF is retro. This is retro. This is called film. This is called 35 millimeter Kodak film for all you new photographers out there. Look, it's actual 400 speed film. And this is so cool because Tri-Expand 400 film for black and white prints. This is actual black and white film, and the cool thing about this is, look, the expiration date. The expiration date of this unused film here, 3/2005. Bright Sun and Flash film from Kodak. Black and white 400 CN Kodak film, 36 EXP, which means exposures, for black and white prints. Oh wow, what is this? This is a flash. Sunpak Auto 522 flash head. I remember using this thing with that camera. Batteries would go here. Oh man, this is really nice. This is a light meter, boys and girls. This is an ancient light meter. This is how we would, oh, look at this thing. Look at this gem. This is how we would measure light, and we would adjust our cameras accordingly. Talking about tilty LCD touchscreen, this and that. This has a tilty light meter, guys. Check out the dials. I'm gonna go ahead and crop this video so you could actually see how awesome this is. More unused rolls of film, which I'll be using. Ooh, we got a lens. What is this? Sigma. Who says I don't own a Sigma lens? I do. This is a Sigma Z 2.8 135 millimeter Pentel telephoto lens, made in Japan, built solid. Say we do a review of this guy right here. And these are all F-mount lenses. Look how smooth that focus is. Now this is perfect lens for video. Look how smooth that is. This, we don't get that. We don't get this with G lenses, modern lenses. This is legacy glass right here, guys. Sigma 135 2.8 lens. The Sigma Z. It's not Sigma Art now. This is Sigma Z. Sigma Z. Okay, this is the battery grip motor drive for the F3. Something like this. This is the motor drive. So if you don't want to crank it up like this and shoot, you put a battery in this thing, and this will turn your camera into a DSLR. No, I'm just kidding. This is a motor drive. This is the Nikon motor drive ND4 Japan. Look at the serial number and everything on this. This is really cool. So it's a motor drive. It drives the film automatically without you want. If you're lazy and you don't want, and I'm pretty sure this thing speeds up the process as far as how many. I wonder how many frames per second you can take with this. 6 frames per second? Yeah, right. For the Nikon F3. Oh, okay. This is the plate. The camera goes here. Okay, like this. And this attaches to the flash. Like that. See? The flash plate. And then the camera goes like this. And this is what people were doing back in the day with the flash. You know, this is pretty heavy right here, guys, with the combination here, with the flash and camera combination. Ooh, a battery. Sanyo. Who remembers Sanyo? Sanyo power cell. Oh man, this is my old strap. This is the strap for my F3. Look at it, it's already rusting on the side here. We got another lens here, guys. Makinon with the nice cover. Makinon lens. This is a multi-coated 28 millimeter 2.8 Makinon lens. And for the Nikon F now, perfect. I could use this for a digital camera. See what kind of, you know what I will do? All this F mount glass I have here, I'm going to be doing some reviews here. Old lens versus new lens. What do you think, guys? Prime lens. So we got a 28 millimeter, we got a 135 millimeter, and we have a 50 millimeter right here. Filter holder from Cokin. Who remembers Cokin? The company. Adapter ring. Cokin. C-O-K-I-N. Cokin. Okay, this thing, I know what this thing is. This is if you wanted to change film in bright sunlight, you're out and about shooting, you're on a photo shoot, and you want to change film, but you don't want to expose the film to daylight. So what you do is you cover the camera with this coat, and it blocks out all the light. So you can go ahead and zip it up. Hey, who remembers these RCA adapters from the past? Remember these things? In the 80s, when we wanted a longer RCA cable, this is an adapter to extend it. So this is the Cokin filter kit that comes with the Cokin filter holder. You slide it in there and you have filters. Hey, a gradient filter. This is total retro, guys. This is what retro is all about. Nikon F3, Kodak film, Sunpak Flash, Sigma lenses, Cokin filters, light meter from yesteryear. I wonder how old this thing is. But yeah, guys, this is awesome. Makinon. This is something special. I'm really excited. Anyway, guys, what would you say, Marty? It's time to go back? I don't want to go back to 2021. I'd rather stay in the 80s. What do you say? Honestly, guys, I was just a little boy back in the 80s, but if I had a choice, I wish I was in my 20s in the 80s. I think I'd have a blast. I love that era. Music, movies, cameras, just everything was simple. And what I remember of the 80s, it was just a great golden time. That decade is just something special. Even for a new generation, I mean, you got to look at the 80s and you go, of course there was some hard times in the 80s. There was a lot going on as far as politics. What era hadn't had its troubles, right? But as far as just being a regular kid, growing up in a nice family, photography family, loving music and movies, I wish I was 20 years old in the 80s, And I wish the 80s would just stay the 80s. It was a special time. It was a special time. But back to reality, back in the time machine we go. Back to the future, 2021. We're here now. We appreciate what we have. And, it's all nostalgic greatness here. You look back, you remember, and you just have a good time with it. Especially all you guys that are a little older than me, that were 20 in the 80s. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you lived the 80s and what you remember about that era. It doesn't have to be about photography. It could be about anything. What you think of the 1980s, good or bad, and what you compare it to now. Would you want to be back there in the 80s, 20 years old again? Leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear that generation talk about that era. All right, everybody, we're back in 2021 now. So it's time to wrap this video up right here. I want to thank you guys for watching my F3 official video. In the future, I will actually put this film to good use with this camera, and we'll actually take it out onto a real world photo shoot. What do you think? Take my digital SLR or mirrorless? Let's take a mirrorless camera and let's take the Nikon F3. How about a Z6 versus an F3? And let's, put that 50mm lens on this camera, or use this camera. I'm so excited, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Use a 50mm and mount the 50mm Z on a Z6. Take it out to a real world photo shoot. Develop the images, scan them, compare them side by side, and see what we get. Future video, that's a good idea. If you haven't subscribed yet to Vahography, this is where we talk all things photography. And as you could see with this video, we went back to the 80s. We had some fun. And we do this here. We do this on Vahography. So Nikon F3, we talk all things photography, photo lens reviews, camera reviews, old gem reviews, photography tutorials. If you like videos like this, go ahead, so hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You like this video right here, let's kill that like button today. Let's thrash it, let's rock it, let's make it go sky high. For all the 80s, guys and gals out there, photographer guys and gals, so they could see this video and appreciate what we had in the 80s. So hit that like button. Thank you for watching. It's time for me to go and shoot some film. This is Vahography. I'm Vahagan, your rock and roll photographer, and it's time to go back in time and use that F3 rock and roll. See you later.